العلم أشراف مطلوب وطالبه لله أكرام من يمشي على قدمه. العلم نور مبين يستضيء به أهل السعادات والجهال في الظلم.
First question, you said that if the person is leading the salah, he can have the niyya of the sunnah, and even if the ma'mum is wajib, for example, Jum'ah, you know, there's a message where they ask you to do second Jum'ah khutbah. Yeah? Are you allowed to delay it until you pray that wajib, or you pray with the main Jum'ah and then you just do the khutbah, or you do the salah after?
Please repeat that question.
So are you allowed to, if the masjid asks you to do the second khutbah?
If a masjid asks you to do a second khutbah, after you've prayed with them in the first one?
No, but that's the question I'm asking. Are you allowed to delay it to the second khutbah?
Delay what exactly?
The Jum'ah salah. Because you're leaving, right? So are you allowed to delay it until you pray with your wajib then? Or do you pray with the first Jama'ah, your wajib, and then the second one?
So the question is, مثلا a masjid asks you to do the second khutbah basically, to the second jama'ah. طيب. So why would you do the first one? You would only do the second one.
Well, because I'm saying, because I heard that the asl of the Jum'ah is that the first one is... لا. The second one exists because of a hajj. صحيح. It does exist because of a hajj, the need. لكن it's still a Jum'ah. So what you would need to do, if they ask you to do the second khutbah and the second salah, then don't pray the first one. Go to the masjid during the second khutbah, for the second khutbah, and lead the second Jum'ah. طيب. So like the second question, you said that tasmiyah is sunnah to a child.
Sorry, عفوا, لحظة. Just on that note, that point where there's a second Jum'ah, in the books of fiqh you will find that the scholars differentiate between a jami' and the masjid, a local masjid, and the jami', the main masjid. So مثلا in the past, and even now in a lot of Muslim countries, you will find that there are many local masjids. Like in these local masjids, no Jum'ah is done. Jum'ah is not done in these local masjids. People go to the main jami', go to the main masjid for the Jum'ah prayer. طيب. So all of these masjids will be empty. So the scholars say, or in the books of fiqh you will find that the people living in one location, they all pray one Jum'ah. Why? Because it's better for the unity of the Muslims to pray together, do sujood together, ruku' together, and listen to the khutbah together and so on. Lakin if the need arises for Muslims to pray in different masjids, because there's no one masjid that will fit all of the Muslims, then that is permissible. Again, if the need comes for Muslims living in non-Muslim countries, where there's a need for more than one khutbah, then that is also permissible, because that goes back to what? The hajj, the need, the necessity. Now there's a benefit that we can take from there, which is the ahkam of fiqh can change depending on the zaman and the makan, the place, the location, and the time. These ahkam change, and the fatwa also change based on the ahwal, the situation, and the time frame, and the location, and so on. طيب. So when you find the fatwa of an alim, and it may contradict the fatwa of another alim, there's not necessarily a contradiction. Don't think there's a contradiction. It may be because this alim, he was asked about a specific situation and he gave a fatwa based on that. And this individual, or this alim, was asked another specific situation with its haythiyat, its circumstances, and then he gave a fatwa based on that. Your second one.
The second one is, you said that the tasmiyah of a child is sunnah. I'm not saying to leave it off, but like, does that mean it's not wajib to name the child? That maybe my family is wrong.
The tasmiyah is sunnah to name the child. Like that child's not going to be nameless. You have to name them. You have to name them. Otherwise they're going to be nameless. Like there's another thing. There's another thing that you just reminded me. They also say, the scholars also say in the books of fiqh, that you have to give the child a good name. مثلا Salih, or Muhammad, or Abdullah, Abdul Rahman, Abdul Hakim, Abdul Muhsin, and so on.
Like in what happens nowadays, especially amongst your generation, they get names from social media and they cut it into half and then they name their child.
Social media is that they name themselves nameless.
نعم. So يعني لا seriously they يعني the names you come across some really weird names to the extent that the older generation they always forget what the name of this child is, the grandchild's name, because they've never heard of it, you know, and they can't pronounce it obviously. And sorry, another masala. In general, it's good to name your children the name of your community, you know, the location that you're in. It's not good to come up with odd names and weird names. I think that's from the sunnah to not stand out. فطري ويسمى في الحديث, the hadith that we just came through. في يوم السابعة يحلق رأسه ويسمى. التسمية sunnah to do it on the 7th day. You mean it's a sunnah to name him or you don't have to name him? No, you have to sunnah on the 7th day. Can the aqiqah be done after 7 days? Yes, it can be 7 days. The scholars say also 14th day. You can do it on the 14th day, the 21st day, and then any time after that. And then you can, and it's a matter of sunnah, like, and you can do it even on the 2nd, 3rd, 4th day. Like in the sunnah is to do it on the 7th day. Could you please explain how the hair is to be weighed and charity given from the weight? Now, I think when the brother explained, he mentioned, he reminded me, Jazakallah khairan, what do we use to weigh it? Fidda. So, مثلا, if it weighs, I don't know how much hair weighs, but regardless, whatever it weighs, then you check the fidda, the amount it is, and then you pay that amount of fidda. Those who are slaughtering one animal together, can they intend to pay for their own family also, or is it sufficient for them alone? Like those that are slaughtering, they can also have the intention for their family, and for their family to also be rewarded. So it's upon him and his whole family, Whole family meaning those that live with him in the same household. Like if you've got, مثلا, siblings, then they should also slaughter in their own location. One seventh.
That's enough for them and their family.
Yes. So, مثلا, if you're slaughtering 1/7 of a camel, طيب, that is equivalent to you slaughtering 1/7 of a cow or one sheep alone. طيب, can Hajj badal only be performed for one person, or can you combine intentions and do it for more than one person? لا, Hajj badal can only be performed for one person. Hajj badal means, مثلا, a Muslim is not able to perform Hajj physically. They're not able to perform Hajj due to old age or illness. Like they have the financial means. He can ask someone to perform Hajj on his behalf. So we're asking him to do, or that individual to do Hajj on his behalf. If that person goes to Hajj, he can only have the intention of performing Hajj on behalf of this person. On behalf of this person. Like he can't combine the different people and say, I'm going to do Hajj for 10 people. No, it can only be done once. Also, the next hukum is that when the person is performing Hajj badal for someone, when the person is doing Hajj on behalf of someone, he needs to have performed the Hajj himself. Yeah, go on.
So, sister's asking, can we dilute Zamzam water because it's hard to find in the UK?
Can we dilute Zamzam water? No, you can dilute Zamzam water. Inshallah, the asl of the Zamzam water will be there. Just like you can do so with ruqya. So,
when you are
Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
You do that in sujood as well?
La, in sujood, you necessarily don't have to do that. Yeah, you just say your Subhana Rabbiyal A'la, Subhana Rabbiyal A'la, and so on. And then you can start your dua immediately. Okay, I think. Yeah. Oh no. No, when you're doing general adhkar, you just say the adhkar as it is. When you're making dua outside salah, obviously praise Allah Jalla wa Ala, send salutations upon the Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, seek forgiveness, and then make your dua. Tafadhal akhi. You know, I can't hear you because this is loud, you know. La, if you're in salah, that's what he meant, in salah. But outside salah you mean? La, in salah. Nah, in salah you can only speak Arabic. And not only general Arabic, like in Arabic connected to your salah. Outside of salah, anything.